Samsung is one of the world's largest tech companies, but it's had a low-key presence in Silicon Valley until this $300 million campus opened in 2015.
Consistently named one of the most innovative countries on Earth, South Korea is home to a roster of tech heavyweights that have fundamentally changed the way that we live. Whether it's our electronics,
it just kicks up my feet,
or our entertainment, our food,
oh, thank you very much,
or our fashion.
These are wild.
The East Asian nation continues to redefine the rules of the game. From the scrappy startups and the emerging unicorns,
fan art in honor of PUBG,
to the seasoned conglomerates.
You want to turn a car into a mobile phone.
That's right.
Join me on Innovate South Korea as I find out how innovation is being driven here. South Korea is one of the most digitally connected populations on the planet, and one brand more than any other has come to symbolize that: Samsung. It is the global leader in sales of smart TVs and the world's #1 smartphone maker. But these days, with mobile sales slowing, the Korean tech giant is now racing to find its next big thing. And we got exclusive access to see how, here in the city of Suwon, just ahead of a big milestone last year, the company's 50th birthday.
This is it, the headquarters of Samsung Electronics and its research and development campus. Located just a short drive south of Seoul, this is where the company is in a constant state of innovation as it tries to push into new, uncharted markets, and they are giving us a rare peek inside.
They call it Digital City, where some 35,000 Samsung employees work. It's got a sort of Silicon Valley college campus vibe, with parks, throngs of young people, and a massive cafeteria where everything is free. It also feels a bit like Fort Knox. Security scans everyone on the way in and out. With operating profits of nearly $50 billion in 2018, Samsung can't afford to see its corporate secrets go out the door.
Thank you. Tap it here?
Yeah.
All right.
Few outsiders are allowed to see these R&D labs. And in here, one thing is clear.
This is a refrigerator.
Wow.
Samsung is in a constant state of crisis. At least, that's how CEO H.S. Kim describes it.
We believe the crisis is our opportunity for our future growth. The innovation is our job.
For Samsung, crisis seems to equal innovation. One of its big moments came in 2012 with the launch of this phone. That year, the Galaxy S3 topped rival Apple's iPhone 4S to become the best-selling smartphone on the planet. Profits soared.
This one's 4G.
Yeah, we've had that for a while.
This one's got
Emboldened, Samsung released this ad asking viewers, why wait for another phone when the next big thing is already here?
One thing that Samsung is very good at is they're very, very aggressive in the way they approach the technology space. Sometimes a bit overly aggressive, but in the grand scheme of things, it's good because it keeps them on that leading edge of technology.
The company's big bet now is a 5G world of interconnected living.
5G is really about what I say is putting fiber in your pocket. You're connected to a blazing fast network, so it's instantaneous. But it's not just the person or human pockets. Now, because 5G will be about connecting things to the internet, to the world.
That could be in your kitchen, living room, or even out on the road.
So good to meet you.
We would like to bring the mobile experience inside the vehicle as much as possible.
You want to turn a car into a mobile phone?
That's right.
I can connect to my refrigerator right now.
Here's the thing. Samsung sees a near future where cars drive themselves, and passengers, well, they'll need entertaining.
Don't you think there's just too much information? You know, too much data, too much control at my fingertips here?
This vehicle shows you what Samsung can do.
A few years ago, Samsung wasn't even a player in automotive infotainment, but by 2016, it spent $8 billion to acquire US-based Harman. And just 2 years later, Samsung became the world's #1 distributor in the industry, with about $5 billion in revenue, say analysts. Now, Samsung says this technology could be on the roads within a couple years.
Thank you, Christy.
This is the lab.
Yeah, this is our lab.
And you're the robot guy.
Right. All of the people are robot guys.
Elsewhere on campus, teams are working on healthcare, a relatively new field for Samsung.
Our system is not for the people who can't walk, but this is a system for the people who can walk but have some problems in doing some very sound gait. So
For the elderly.
Yeah, right.
In 2010, the company released its first medical device in a bid to turn healthcare into a new growth engine.
Let's put it on.
Yeah,
Can I try it? Okay.
Those are sensors located on my hips that measure the angles created by the distance each of my legs moves in a typical walk. Then motors lift my legs based on that personalized gait, giving my muscles a big boost.
Oh, goodness. It just kicks up my feet.
Yeah,
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a lift at my feet, even though this is only here.
Right.
The team believes this could one day help elderly and disabled users with physical therapy. Samsung has its eyes on the exoskeleton industry, which analysts say could be worth nearly $6 billion over the next decade.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. 70%.
Nearby, an engineer is developing technology to help the visually impaired see.
Like real glasses.
Yeah.
Yes.
To show me how it works, I'm more or less blinded with these half-opaque glasses.
It's very blurry.
Yes.
I can't see anything.
Then, given a VR kit paired with a Samsung phone and this app,
Oh, I see. Oh, my goodness.
As soon as I put this headset on, I can see the outlines of figures. Something that was once just a milky blob has turned into something with definition. I can go from not seeing to seeing.
No, this is incredible.
Hopefully we can, help the visually impaired people feel the same joy of ordinary life that most of us usually take for granted with this.
the software's algorithms help detect even the faintest outlines and also inverts colors and enhances contrast so you can see. This is all taking place in the C Lab, which Samsung opened around 6 years ago to encourage bottom-up innovation. For executives like Kim, the lab shows that Samsung is trying to reinvent itself.
Yeah, that's really good.
They are creating startup culture inside Samsung. So we want to make our culture different.
Samsung is racing to innovate, but not to market. In the wake of some failed product launches, including the first rollout of its Galaxy Fold in 2019, Samsung recognizes the need to balance speed with execution. As this 50-year-old tech giant looks to find its next big thing.
I am inside Samsung's global headquarters here in South Korea, where it's lunchtime. I'm getting an exclusive look inside Samsung, exploring 3 of its sprawling campuses around the city of Seoul. Samsung is the world's most popular smartphone maker ahead of Huawei and Apple. But its smartphone business is only one part of the Samsung operation, which includes shipping and even construction. Samsung also makes TVs, washers, dryers, air conditioners, laptops, printers, fax machines, door locks, and it also has a large business-to-business unit. Samsung employs over 320,000 people globally, and about 70% of them are outside of South Korea. It's the world's 12th largest company by revenue and the world's second largest technology company. Behind me is an actual bus depot for just Samsung employees. And with so many campuses located around South Korea, this tour feels like I'm exploring an entire city. Every building you see behind me is part of Samsung right now. And they also have anything you can imagine. This campus has its own Dunkin' Donuts. It even has its own fire stations, too. My first stop is Samsung Digital City. At 346 acres, that makes it over 3 times the size of the Vatican City. It's home to its consumer electronics business that includes everything from phones to TVs and microwaves. There's even a dedicated area within Digital City where Samsung is testing out its 5G technology. In this part of the campus, Samsung is testing its 5G network equipment through real-life use cases. So I see cameras on buildings, cameras over traffic lights. This is some of the Samsung 5G network equipment that's currently being deployed. This one, for instance, is already being used in the US. Samsung has signed 5G deals with the likes of AT&T and Verizon in the US. Closer to home, Samsung is already working with all the major telco providers to deploy its 5G network equipment, making South Korea one of the first countries to do so. As I roam through Samsung's campus, something stands out. Security is tight here. They actually have metal detectors when you leave the building, and that's for security reasons. That's to ensure that no company property leaves the premises. Next, I head to C-Lab, or Samsung's Creative Lab. It's an in-house incubation program that lets employees pitch and work on their ideas without having to worry about their day jobs. A number of products have come out of C-Lab, including an on-demand 3D printer, a smart belt. Successful projects are either absorbed in-house or spun off into external startups, with Samsung retaining a small stake in the companies. Every campus has its own gym facility. It's quite huge. I'm told that it really peaks and gets crowded around 6 p.m. This even has its own running track. There's a fast lane and there's a slow lane, which goes around the entire perimeter of the gym. What's really interesting is you can even borrow gym clothes, so you don't even need to bring your own clothes. It's almost lunchtime, so I'm going to take a break from this tour and have some lunch. This is today's lunch menu behind me. I see a lot of different cuisines. I think that I've found the most popular station here in the cafeteria. I'm going to try some Korean noodles over at this station here. Sorry. This looks like a lot of food, but they have a system where if you choose a brown tray, that means you want more food. If you choose a green tray, that means you want less food. So I didn't know, but I'm secretly happy I chose this tray. Lunch is completely free here on campus. There's no cash registers or anything. And the cafeterias are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There is a rice station. Instead of your usual condiments like ketchup and mustard, you've got kimchi. That is a lot of kimchi. I just noticed that a lot of the columns have letters on them so that you can easily find your friends and that you could sit with them. Okay, see, we don't need an app for everything. If you have a big deadline and you can't enjoy a sit-down lunch, well, this is the takeout section where you just grab and go. As you leave the cafeteria, there's this hallway where you can have a glass of water and freshen up before you go back to work. I guess I should freshen up as well. After lunch, I take a walk in what's referred to as Central Park. Right now it's still around lunchtime, so you have a lot of employees taking a stroll and just hanging out. There's a lot of different trees, colors. There's random classical music playing in certain parts of the park. This campus is also home to Samsung Innovation Museum, which is open to the public. Here, you'll find not just the evolution of Samsung's products, but a history of technology in general. Next, I head to another campus called Samsung Nano City. It's home of Samsung's semiconductor division. This campus alone is home to 40,000 employees and has 12 cafeterias. This building behind me is where semiconductor chips are made by Samsung, things that go into consumer electronics, like your smartphone. Last year, Samsung became the world's largest chip maker by revenue. According to reports, for every $1,000 iPhone X that Apple sold, Samsung made $110 through its chips in the phone. These are the buildings of Samsung's Research and Development Center for its microchips. There's 14,000 employees working in these 3 buildings, but because it's so secretive, well, I don't have any access beyond this lobby. I'm ending the tour at Samsung's R&D campus. It's about a 45-minute drive from Nano City. Here is where a lot of the design work is done. Samsung says about 1/5 of its global workforce is dedicated to research and development. That's more than 65,000 people. To encourage creativity, there's a library where designers and employees can come to brainstorm and find inspiration. My last stop is at what's called Samsung Sound Lab. It has everything from music equipment to voice booths, where they record voices of Samsung's smartphone virtual assistant, Bixby. All the sounds are created for things you wouldn't even think of, like when you charge your phone, unplug your phone from the charger, when you open the refrigerator, or when the refrigerator's been open for more than a minute long. It's a term called sonic branding. They even came up with the sound of Samsung Pay, which was meant to mimic the sound of a credit card being pulled out of a wallet. And then there's the sound they created of a Samsung air conditioner turning off. And I guess that's my cue to wrap up this tour.